Good afternoon, speed running fans, GT Classic fans. We are here with the second to last race in our backdoor bracket. This is going to be InsaneFirebat versus sloaters27. We got you here on comms in the booth today. My name is Professor School. I am joined by my co-commentator, Sforzando. I'm the sizzle, he's the steak, or maybe it's the other way around. Sforzando, what's up? How you doing today?
It is a day of love, and I love each and every one of you who have tuned into this race between number 1 seed sloaters27 and number 3 seed InsaneFirebat. Sloaters is here by virtue of being upset by Mr. Guy Average, and so Sloaters won his race against Nevdi. Firebat won his race against Nintoaster, and so this should be a primo matchup in which the winner moves on to face Mr. Guy Average in the finals of the backdoor bracket, and the loser goes home. So I'm definitely looking forward to a great matchup here.
Yeah, same as well. It's funny, people always bring out buys in these really long, grueling tournaments. You wonder whether or not it has any impact at all. Probably not for Sloaters, who did get that critical first round bye and had one less matchup to play. But of course, these runners participating in so many different races that one more race here there probably doesn't make much of a difference. But this is it. As Sforzando pointed out, this is the final real big win or go home situation for our backdoor redemption bracket finals. And Ruya sitting up there on the top of the mountain, waiting for someone else to join him in that grand finals, and we will get one step closer to that today.
Yeah, it looks like Firebat comes out of the gate with a little bit of a delay. It was probably Ridley RNG. That tail can be kind of unforgiving sometimes if you think it's going to go a certain way and it just doesn't for you. So it looks like Firebat's just a little bit behind, but I'm definitely hoping for a couple of 46s right here. Oh, we're good set up for it.
Yeah, rough tile boost room for both. Sloaters missing his tile boost. Firebat just not getting good RNG on those tiles. And yet still, gosh, just incredible times for both of them. A 45.60 for sloaters27 and a really nice 46.24 for InsaneFirebat. Great times despite some troubles through the early part of that series station.
Yeah, definitely, and that just goes to the skill of just these high-level runners. You know, Sloaters runs a lot of categories. I think he's currently undefeated in the InsaneFirebat Swiss tournament, and Firebat runs pretty much all these community races that you see. If there's a community race going on, he's probably in it. So high-level play from both of our runners.
Yeah, and high-level play that's been carrying through this tournament. Both of them, as Sforzando pointed out, having a really great run and taking only losses to MGA and Ruya, our front door semi-finalists. But yeah, I mean, as far as progress in the tournament goes, very hard for these top runners to have any kind of PB to speak about. But sloaters27 actually coming in hot with a really beautiful new PB recently, retaking 4th overall on the leaderboards. The 33.27, I think it is. Just really incredible stuff as these runners continue to 33.36, really pushing their times down even further. Those are just like godly numbers that you're talking about for this category.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to me, and I can't say this enough, definitely about Sloaters, but certainly both of our runners. You could just sort of flip the switch from one category to another, from one mode to another, to go from either SMRAD or any percent, and just sort of flip this switch and get a personal best in GT Classic. It's just amazing.
I think we actually, when we were in the booth last time, Sforzando, I think you and I actually asked Sloaters about that. After his last race, he had a win over Nevdi, or maybe it was even in his loss. No, you know what? It was in his loss to MGA, and he said, "Yeah, you know, I don't think about the races too much. I don't have the time to practice because I'm racing so much, and I do it so often. I switch between categories so often that I'm just used to it, and I never have hiccups, and I never have issues with forgetting what route I'm running. And it's just to be able to make that adjustment on the fly is a testament to just how talented these runners are and how well they know this game inside and out."
Yeah, I think I need about 5 more years of experience to get to that point.
How long have you been running Sforzando? I feel like you and I are both relatively new to the community. Is that fair to say?
That's pretty fair. I started running at the end of, I think, 2018, and then I took most of 2020 off. So I've been running it roughly a year and a half now, 2 years maybe cumulatively.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm very new to the community. I started racing and speed running this game in February of 2020, so just coming up on my 1-year anniversary. So I think your time off just overlapped with my my start, which is I think why we hadn't seen each other. But certainly striving for the levels that these runners here are going to be providing us today. It should be a really hype matchup with, I expect, very few, if any, safeties for both of our runners.
Yeah, definitely. I know I've seen what these guys can do. Both certainly run bootless. That's how they get PBs in the 33, low 34 neighborhood. I think it's very tough to get a bootless 34. Certainly possible, but only a handful of 34s have been done with high jump boots. And with the expectation that our runners are going all out here, I fully expect all the safeties to be off in this one for the sake of just trying to get the best time possible.
Has there been more than just Zenny's bootless 34? I couldn't say off the top of my head if anyone else has run a bootless 34.
I think there's been another bootless 34.
Or excuse me, not bootless, high jump boots.
That's
34.
Yes, I'm with you. I meant that.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't understand what you mean by that. Yeah, I think there've been 3. I want to say either Kuru or Kishmo or somebody I think has a bootless, a high jump boot 34, and then C7 mentioning JRP in chat. So I don't know if I've seen that one or not, but it doesn't surprise me. JRP is a very strong runner too.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out if Kip or Zost at some point before switching to bootless had a 34 high jump boots time, certainly.
Yeah, and in all fairness, if you told Rui to do it now, he probably could pull a 34 with high jump boots easily.
Yeah, of course, the reference there from my co-commentator that in a race situation, no less, we have an incredible 32:57 best for second all time posted by Ruya, who is sitting waiting for one final competitor before he tries to take a clean sweep of this tournament. So yeah, just incredible stuff that we're seeing from these final 4 racers left alive in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. My apologies. I don't know if I have sloaters frozen or if it's just my screen I need to refresh or otherwise. I hope there's everything is pretty clear on your end.
Yeah, I've got a frozen sloaters also, actually. Stand by. Well, in the meantime, Firebat making their way up to this first super missile pack, just touching in about 7 minutes. So both runners having a little bit of hiccups coming through. Maybe my worst 2 sets of rooms that you have to link together in this game, which is Climb and Parlor. They're just so technical, and those vertical rooms I just find incredibly difficult to be precise and accurate on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I think it was JC that once said, this game is incredibly easy when you don't have to move up and down.
I like that. We need that on a bumper sticker somewhere. Firebat getting great drops already at full missiles coming into Green Hill Zone. Holy smokes.
Yeah, we're trying to get Sloaters reconnected here. I'm not directly working on Sloater Stream or the restream, but I know that our people are actively working on getting this one back together. But yes, definitely having 5 and 3 at this point is very nice.
Yeah, don't worry about it, folks. We got our people on it. The stream is going to be right back up here in a minute. Big thanks to our restreamers for that.
That was a quite impressive New York accent there.
Born and raised. Really nicely executed red tower there. Still some trouble here in Hellway, so I think maybe not the cleanest run that we might expect from these 2 racers, but the last we saw, they were pretty close to one another. I think Sloaters did have a slight lead with a little bit fewer execution errors, and certainly a slower PB touch time here in the 8:45 range for Firebat, but we'll just have to wait and see how close these runners are going to be separated after the 2 major tricks before GT Code.
Yeah, there you have it. That is directly from our restreamer's mouth.
Yeah, that was the dulcet tones of Nintoaster81 beamed up from the Starship Enterprise communications deck. So hopefully we'll have that back to you just in a second here.
Yeah, and while we have this brief pause in the action, I do want to let you know that we are still running some of these little tournament exhibition matches for those that have been eliminated from the tournament. There is an upcoming exhibition of epic proportions between our restreamer Nintoaster and Toasty Toasts. It's a match that we're definitely all looking forward to. That is going to be coming at you tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are not going to want to miss that.
Yeah, always nice to see the more GT Classic action possible that we can squeeze out of this tournament. And those grudge matches have been a lot of fun, actually. A lot of racers participating in them. Super active, especially in Groups A and Group B. We're getting our money's worth, really, for this tournament, which is to say all of it, because no one paid to enter. And we're getting
That is true.
tons
Nobody
of
paid to enter. We're not sponsored by anybody yet. We are trying to get a sort of a four-way match in Group D, since there is only 4 in the tied for 9th bracket. That does include Toasty Toasts. I think it's also King Salmon and P-Toil. We're trying to get a four-way match done at some point as well, and we'll bring that to you as soon as that's available. I just realized I said that that's 5 people if I included myself. So we have a solid Crate Quick Kill over on Firebat stream. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what happened to Sloaters. My personal, I hope it's not a power outage. I know that from personal experience. It's kind of the last thing you want to happen during a race.
Yeah, and we did actually see in the SRL race chat here that Sportsando did get bumped without a ping, just got timed out. So it could just be internet issues, because it looks like it's not just his stream that's down, but he was bumped from the SRL chat as well. So we'll just have to see. We'll obviously keep you all updated on that. In the meantime, we're sort of flying blind here. We do know that InsaneFirebat managed to keep away any DLC content, and we'll try to keep our best eyes possible on the splits here and give a sense of where Firebat is running and what kind of a race we're getting. But we can confirm one thing, definitely going bootless here, looking for that Kraid E-Tank, and we'll be moving forward with that bootless run here from InsaneFirebat.
Yeah, a couple extra jumps there to grab that E-Tank. That's a pretty solid strat to gather those B-Toms together and drop the bomb. Save yourself the missile that you'll use either in pre-Cathedral or later. And that is definitely a nice little strat to gather those all together. And it's a little bit of a risky strat depending on how much health you have, because they do drain your health pretty quickly and pretty early. I don't know if Firebat is paying attention to any of the action whatsoever. Definitely he's not piped up in the SRL chat or anything like that. So, and I don't see him in our chat. So I don't know if he's aware of what is happening in this situation. We'll see if he takes the save. He is the lower seed, so I think I kind of expect those kind of power moves there from the lower seed to just kind of expect that you're behind and push through kind of without a save. So we'll see what happens here.
All right, well, Firebat does take that pre-bootless dive safety save. And with 2 missiles, 2 supers here, we are going to get some farming. Seems prudent in a race. And
yeah, I mean,
drops.
It is the prudent thing to do, I think, in terms of a race. Bootless dives can be pretty difficult to pull off. We watched, I think it was Sloaters in one of his earlier matches, failed to get bootless on one of the tries because you have to bring over one of the Namaha's fireballs with you, and that's just one of several areas in which the bootless dive can go wrong. So I think it's probably a good save regardless of whether you're in front or in back.
All right, here's our bootless dive. Let's all hold our breaths, folks. Bless lava dive. A nice start so far, manipulating that Namihe flame.
Perfect.
Nicely
Like
done. Doesn't
butter.
even go into health bomb range. Easy peasy. And there's that second safety save.
My guess is at this point, it might be an internet issue. I can tell you from personal experience, if my power went out and it wasn't backed up, I'd probably be right in the chat on my phone or something to that effect. And a local record, like if I wouldn't have local recording. If just his internet went out or something like that, I may have local recording and just keep going, you know, and you don't really have much time to fix some of those technical issues. Yeah, okay, it looks like we've got Sloaters in chat.
Yeah, this just in. Sloater is back up and running. I am in Sloater's stream right now, and I can confirm that we are having a dead and disappearing GT right now. And Sloaters is going to be touching in at screw attack. That's a screw attack touch of 1525.
Meanwhile, we have a reset on green gate glitch from Firebat's side, so that's just unfortunate. That's going to be an unfortunate reset for him. I can tell you folks that this race will be legit, provided that Sloaters has his own backup copy, just to ensure everything is on the level in regards to the race that he has run. So as soon as we get his restream back up, everything should be valid and okay beyond this point.
All right, bless GGG. Firebat coming back through here for a second attempt. And now having reconnected, we can see that it's going to be a pretty commanding lead for Sloaters, already making his way through the amphitheater right now.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides to just the finicky nature of the category. That the gate just doesn't pop off on the first try or the first set of tries or otherwise. That green gate is there's a little bit of science to it, and it's not purely RNG, of course, but there is an element of preciseness to it that is almost sort of required in order for one to pop that gate open. And it's unfortunate, even at these high levels, to see something like that happen. As we have a quick look at Nintoaster's friend list, if we would just judge him for all the friends that he has on that list, there it goes.
Well, obviously, taking the reset there, difficult for Firebat. You don't want to see it. Despite that, still running probably a easy potential here for a 35 if everything goes well for the rest of the sort of go mode part of this race. But you know, we've talked about this several times together in the booth, you and I, Sando, when you come up not only against a good racer, but a good racer on one of their best days. And right now, unofficially, I can say that sloaters27 is 14 seconds ahead of his most recent PB. So I believe that would indicate that there were no saves taken throughout the potential safeties. And after dispatching of Ridley there, we're talking about a person who, if they're playing on gold split pace, could be very close to a low 34, 33 in a race, which is just, it's almost an impossible mountain to climb when you're up against something like that in a race.
Definitely, and it's a shame to take those the gate glitch failure cost you probably 45 seconds because you have to reload the game, you have to take the elevator down, and all of those things just eats little bits of time. I'm glad it's not the lava dive because that's certainly a much longer time loss if you miss that one. But definitely even one gate at this point is unfortunate that it's just, going to cost you the race. As Firebat's trying to clip through the platform there. That's a nice little trick that those platforms are actually considered enemies for purposes of movement and things like that. So you can actually clip through those platforms in the same way that you can clip through enemies. And so that is called K-going, and it's a very fun thing to do. Okay. Yep, I see chat saying he's racing against his race PB, which I think is in the 34 neighborhood. I got that pulled up right here. 34:23. Yes.
Well, I still think, despite the small adjustment there, my comment still stands when you're talking about not only coming against the top runner, but having to face them on one of their better days. That is, that's a tough combination.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, and if you're saying you're still ahead of a 34-23 pace, I mean, I wouldn't want to be anybody in that situation. I don't know about Ruya maybe, but I wouldn't want to be anybody. I think if you're ahead and your race PB is in the low 34s. I mean, all things considered, it's a pretty solid Ridley fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was saying. The execution is there, and with the exception of the reset and a few minor hiccups, Firebat having a really good race. Sloaters just playing on a different level right now.
Yeah, and getting that Flower House exit strat, linking those rooms together, that's all going to be really nice. Oh, solid there with that space jump Kago, the reverse Kago through the platform. You can do that with Spring Ball as well. That's a 100% route strategy to Kago through those platforms. We don't do it too often on GT Classic because it costs a lot of health, but if you do one of those, it's not so bad. And in the way Firebat just did it, that's quite impressive to use space jump instead of Spring Ball.
Yeah, really nice stuff on display. I believe it's 100 damage when you have all your suits on for both of those. I think it's 50 per Kago. But yeah, a lot of health when you're talking about coming out of that Ridley fight and already being quite low.
Yeah, because when you're running Hundo, I think you have 12 of your 14 E-tanks by that point, so it's insignificant, but you only have, basically 6 plus 1 health when it comes to GT Classic. So it's not often a strat you want to do because it's going to affect how your Torian drops, occur and those sorts of things. You want to be low on health. You don't get a whole lot of chances for health drops.
That's right. And of course, not to mention the fact that in 100%, by definition of the category, you're always going to be picking up that Ridley E-tank. So it doesn't really matter what you come in with or how poorly or well that fight goes. You're always going to be leaving with some Torian.
Yeah, so we've got Sloaters already going into Dragon, and this is, I mean, just to be at Dragon at this point, I mean, if 20, we got 22 minutes, we can see the clock over on Firebat's side. It's a very, very impressive time so far.
Big shout out to Nintoaster here, driving the ship sort of from behind the scenes. He is the man behind the curtain that is keeping this going for us. So thankful for dealing with all those issues there that we had with the stream.
Sloaters missing the spike suit on the other side. Another very difficult and technical trick to get that spike suit. You really only get one chance at that, and it saves probably about 5 seconds if you can get it. It's about 10 seconds each way. If you get full halfy or reverse halfy, it's about 5 seconds saved off of that. So it's fine. You get the Wample jump, and you just go through like nothing happened.
Yeah, you can get usually just around a 10-second room time, plus or minus, depending on your speed entering with that Wample jump, and usually 5 and 30 frames or so for that reverse halfy. So yeah, it is 4.5 seconds, but in the large scheme of things, not a big deal. I will remind folks who use the practice hack, there is a new version of the ROM available now that now includes an updated spike suit trainer that ignores jump inputs when you have Spring Ball on. So you can actually go ahead and practice your spike suit with Spring Ball much more easily than before. Shout out to Idle Child for that addition to the practice hack.
Yeah, and these practice hacks are really what's making Super Metroid accessible for a lot of people. You go back to the old days of those speedrunnings, and they were just using save stations and those sorts of things. They didn't have the accessibility that we have nowadays. So playing Super Metroid has probably never been more accessible than it is right now.
Yeah, back in my day, if I wanted to practice full halfy, I just needed to reset at the Botwoon Aqueduct save station. Now you kids got all y'all fancy tools, and I don't even believe it. It's crazy.
Old man yells at Cloud.
Yeah, sorry about that. We've got a bunch of people that are just popping into the booth here, and we're trying to keep it to just a two-person comms team. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, well, in the old man's rant, we missed out on a nice little foosball by Sloaters there.
Co-commentator throwing a little shade. All right, folks, we're just having a good time here today.
Yeah, Sloaters missing the initial strat for West Ocean and just opting to run along the bottom of the sea and getting in the door that way. I don't think, now that Sloaters has been in the chat, I don't know if he's actually watching the restream to know that he is pretty significantly ahead at this point, but certainly that's a safety strat more than anything. You don't have to worry about getting hung up on things.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never actually considered that. I'm certainly going from right to left when you're exiting wrecked ship. That is a viable backup if you bonk going back through West Ocean. But I've never seen that executed going into wrecked ship before. I've never timed that out before.
I think Firebat actually has a West Ocean strat left to right that he did that involves him space jumping out of the water and into the door as if he never lost momentum. I think I saw him do that in like his very first race in this tournament, or maybe the second race of this tournament, something like that. Yeah, I think Firebat pulled a West Ocean left to right that incorporated jumping through the door, or at least landing on the platform appropriately with speed and everything.
Fantune playing nice. Looked like I wasn't completely paying attention. It was either a fast or a mid, but I do think it was actually that fast left side with the on-screen kill. It's one of the easier patterns to get that done. And Fantune absolutely playing along to what has already been an incredible run from sloaters27 here.
Yeah, and that's one of the unfortunate things about, like I said, the green gate resets is that you just don't really have a chance to make up any of that time, especially at this high a level. That kind of mistake is unfortunately, and I don't even want to call that a mistake per se, because on one hand it can be considered a mistake, but on the other it can be considered bad luck. If you play GT Classic, you know that this definitely can feel like RNG sometimes.
Now, so this is interesting. I imagine that Sloaters will probably try to use his time in the G4 room, in the statues room, to reconnect to the SRL server, or else I don't believe he will be able to done out of this race. That's the only, the last outstanding thing that I am unsure about now that we've finally reconnected to the stream.
Yeah, my guess is his internet went out, unless he's a smarter person and his power went out, but he has all the battery backups to keep playing, because local recording and everything should save him in this run. And that ultimately, that's the one thing that's sort of the insurance that we know that this run's valid, even with a disconnect. But yeah, definitely in this G4 time, I expect him to get back into this, because if he has to wait to hook it up at the end, that I would be frantically frustrated to try and do that after I hit the ship or something like that. Or
yeah, look, I mean, you either have a gas-powered generator that backs up all of your Super Metroid stuff, or you're just pretending, obviously. I mean, that's the only way that
clearly.
Speedrunners do this.
Yeah, because my power went out, I think, in my very first race, and it was because I had two space heaters hooked up to the same, whatchamacallit, in your fuse box. Like, they're two separate rooms, but they're hooked up to the same space, as we have an on-screen kill for Firebat there.
And can confirm sloaters27 back in the SRL server on the chat, typing in his G4 time and confirming internet issues abounded. But good to running here completely. Nice, yes. Metroid Room 1.
Yeah, solid Metroid Room 1. Not quite keeping the momentum at the very end, but still solid. A safe Room 2, as opposed to sort of flying across and killing him that way. But it's a very safe Room 2. Good on super count. Good spring ball. Solid Metroid 3 there.
Yeah, certainly collecting a couple extra drops with that safe room too, and with the grouping here. So with 17 supers, Sloaters will be able to just absolutely blow through. Of course, a big fan of Spring Ball, so Sloaters will be using those 4 supers without any trouble to get through that first Zeb, and we'll have plenty left over to super through Mother Brain 1 after opening that tank.
this is how you can tell this is the high-level play. Did you notice the very subtle little thing that Sloaters did there? He did a spin jump after he landed on the door platform, but before the door transition, he did a spin jump because that hopper was going to hit him, and it saved his pauseless.
Yeah, super impressive stuff.
Yeah, just that kind of awareness to know, okay, the hopper's going to hit the door. I better space jump through this just to ensure pauseless gets that baby skip, no problems. The safe baby skip, certainly. I'm looking forward to the finals to see if somebody actually pulls out the hyper speed baby skip with spring ball there.
Yeah, spring ball baby skip very fast. Obviously, you can get a sub 21 room time, but with some of the aggressive 5-jump skips that you can pull off the standard any percent route, you can still get a pretty good room time, usually about 24 and 40 frames or something. It does cost you about 5 seconds, but certainly much, much safer.
Sloaters leaving that one Rinka, not too terribly big a problem, but those frozen Rinkas can generate a little bit of lag. Not a huge deal, certainly, but that's one of those things to keep an eye out for when you're running GT Classic for personal, or even in a race that happens to maybe be down to the wire. Is that those Rinkas, if you leave them on screen, they're going to generate a lot of lag for you.
Yeah, a lot of lag, and of course also in that process taking some damage from those Rinkas and losing pauseless. So the smallest of hits towards what has already been just an incredible performance here by sloaters27. This is just about as good as the run that we saw him pull off against MGA, and really the only major difference at this point is making baby skip, right? Which is where MGA, down by about 20 seconds, was able to come back and win that thrilling matchup by, 5 or 7 seconds. And so now here we have just everything is working for Sloaters in this race right now.
Yeah, and there's really nothing to take for granted. We do still have one more major trick that certainly, given the high level, I don't expect to be missed, but we have seen it several times in this tournament. It is the stand-up glitch, the save the baby RTA, where you accidentally put the baby in the wrong spot in the middle of the sequence, and it will cause you to soft block and have to reset your game. I don't certainly expect it from the high level play, but I can never really count it out at this point.
So this is another little thing we can point out here from the comms booth. sloaters27 staying airborne during the duration of the baby taking damage or doing damage to Mother Brain standing up, and then waiting until after Mother Brain turns blue and then landing on the ground. And you can actually manipulate the good cutscene and save about a full second with that manipulation. So just every little bit of time save possible here. And Firebat pulling off what looks like that 5-jump baby skip. Really, really nice. Man, these runners are putting on a show for us today. Holy smokes, folks.
Yeah, well, that just about confirms it. There is one more thing you don't want to do with the baby. You don't want to get overzealous. You don't want to put the baby in the upper right corner of the room. Mother Brain's neck only cranes so far, and you don't want to get her to... I've put the baby in the upper right-hand corner before. She will not hit the baby if it goes up there, but definitely an impressive stand-up glitch. Looks like he's going to be very close, maybe one shot away. Yeah, one shot away from a perfect stand-up glitch. My guess at this point, it's not quite going to be a race PB. I think we're probably going to see 34.4x, I would say, give or take. Could be 3x. Depending on this blue bomber right here.
It's certainly going to be really close.
A little extra, like, you want to bonk the top of the door frame, it gets you settled, but I mean, like, we're talking maybe 1 second tops, so it's not certainly the end of the world. And then certainly it looks like I might very well be wrong about the amount of time it takes to do the escape. I always thought it was kind of a bit over a minute, but that could just be me. Oh no, he bonks the door, he's gonna have to short charge up for climb. And it's a regular spark, not a behemoth spark, so it requires an extra sort of jump to get up to that level.
Beautiful parlor, look at that.
We'll see if the steam is friendly to him.
Oh, and it does seem to be obliging in that upper part of Parlor above Alcatraz there.
Oh, that's a 34-24. Let's see what the SRL time officially turns in, because SRL is usually like a second or two slower.
Yeah, we have an official SRL race time of 34:25, just 1 or 2 seconds past their race PB for sloaters27, finishing in first place. Congratulations, GG. That is a ticket in the backdoor finals, that last chance to stay alive in this tournament and move on to the grand finals against Ruya.
And Sloaters is going to get a redemption match against Mr. Guy Average, the player who defeated him back in the would be the winners bracket semifinals, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. That's going to be hype. Grudge for sure between those two racers. An incredible performance last time. MGA pulling it out in what I believe is still the tightest or second tightest margin in the entire tournament, and still my favorite race.
7 seconds, I think it was.
It was so close, yeah. And of course, that missed baby skip was the difference for sloaters27. MGA then going on to just sort of have a whole host of issues in that front door final matchup with Ruya, but I am sure is going to be ready and able. Gosh, I don't know, sloaters27 has been just playing out of his mind recently, and today, again, the execution on all levels. A PB recently, almost a race PB today. It's going to be a tall order to face sloaters27 in the next round.
Yeah, and the closer you get to, world record in this category, I think is 32:40, and I mean, the closer you get to that, the much more difficult it is to even get PBs, much less race PBs, and so it's just impressive to even be on pace.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that, right? If you look down the spreadsheet, incredible progress made by so many runners. But of course, that's going to be concentrated to the runners who had sort of the slower times. Of course, everyone performing very well, but much, much harder. And you see a lot fewer of those big those big progress being made when you're already running a 34 or 35. There's just so much less room for improvement, right?
Sure. And I mean, according to the list, we had 31 runners in this tournament, 21 of them. Oh, we've got a Zenny spark there. We've got 21 runners. Oh, and I think I've seen Oates do that one too. We've had 21 of our runners set a personal best in a race since this tournament has started, so.
Yeah, and some of them pretty substantial. Cashmod coming in with 12 minutes and 32 seconds off their race PB. I was able to pull off about 8.5 minutes off of mine. Of course, I hadn't raced the category at all before starting, but I mean, just all across the board, you see people with 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes off their race PBs. Just incredible stuff from all of our competitors here.
Yeah, definitely. Do you get an official SRL time there for Firebat?
Yeah, here we come. GG to Firebat, finishing officially in second place with an official SRL race time of 37:06. GG to Firebat.
Yeah, I think the only thing I need left is just a confirmation. If we either can get Sloaters in here, or if Sloaters is in chat, or otherwise, we just need a confirmation, hopefully, I guess. I'm not a tournament admin, but I'm really hoping. I'm sure he's probably got to have a local recording. That's about the only thing we need, given the pause, just to ensure that this run is legit. And I certainly don't doubt Sloaters as an honest competitor, but it's just those little bits of accountability I like.
Yeah, so folks, you keep your eyes peeled for that next matchup. We will have sloaters27 and MGA coming up to you in the next couple days. We're going to wait for that one to get scheduled. And of course, Ruya is still waiting in that grand finals location. And in the meantime, hey, we've got some other grudge matches going. We've got a toast on toast matchup tomorrow, as Kev points out in chat, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. That will be the Breville of all toast matchups. Looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah, I think that one's going to hit me right in the breadbasket.
Do you have confirmation from Sloaters? He will be joining us just in a moment here. and we'll patch him in. And looks like that's him right there. Sloaters, welcome and congratulations on not only a win and a spot in the Redemption Bracket Finals, but gosh, a heck of a race. And except for that door bonk right at the end before the Behe Spark, you were on PB pace for your race, were you not?
I was, yeah. It's a bummer to lose it to something like that, but I'm pretty sure that race PB like went all out, like no saves, no farming or anything. So this was like definitely a way cleaner run than whatever that race PB was. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, maybe you can take us through just a little bit of what happened there in the early part. We know you had internet issues and everything cut out for you. So we obviously saw that you had golded your segment going into GT. You were obviously playing very well, but we didn't get a chance to see what safeties you did take. It sounds like maybe there were more safeties in this one. What did you actually end up doing there?
Yeah, so I went bootless obviously, but I took every single safety. I saved at Bubble Mountain, did the farm room, saved at the elevator. So
oh wow.
Yeah, and it's a bummer because if I didn't do all that stuff, this would have been like pretty competitive with my PB. It was like first try green gate glitch, so didn't need extra supers and whatnot.
Wow, that is an incredible performance. Holy smokes.
I was practicing bootless lava dive. I probably had like 15 minutes of practice before this started, and I was probably hitting it like with a 10% success rate. So I was like, oh, this is not good. Normally I don't like to save at the lower Norfair elevator if I'm doing bootless, but I felt like I kind of had to because I didn't want to have to do that again.
How do you feel? How confident do you feel on that green gate glitch? You said you got it first try, and I understand, like, getting that run up and getting that hit when you get it, it always feels nice. I feel like I can get it more often than not. How confident do you feel on that gate?
To me, it feels like a coin flip. Like essentially every try is like a coin flip. If I have 5 supers, I think it's very rare that I'm not going to get through. But even like, when I'm, doing the community races with this, I'll always save there anyways, because there is that every once in a while where it happens. But yeah, with 5, like I feel pretty good. But again, to me, it's kind of like what you guys said. It feels like RNG to me pretty much every time.
Yeah, just one quick question. I'm not a tournament admin. I'm not a person responsible for making decisions, but just to make me feel a little better, you do have local recording on?
Yeah.
Purely professional. That's what I expected.
Yeah, shout out to my brother who was in yelling range when the internet went out and he was able to go restart the router. He was playing something online too, so he probably would have done it anyways, but that was very convenient for me.
Yeah, well, obviously we were glad to see you come back live on Twitch and have the presence of mind during the G4 segment to get yourself back into a position where you could actually got done. And that would have been the only problem, really. So we're really happy to see that, especially not only with the win, but again, just an incredible performance, firing on all cylinders today. You've got to be confident going into this rematch with MGA. I don't even know if there's anything very much different that you could do in that race against MGA except not missing baby skip. How do you feel about that? Do you have any idea moving forward about how you're going to tackle that race?
Well, I just want to say MGA has been on fire, not even like lately, like in the last year. I feel like he put a lot of work into his hundo when the hundo tournament was going on, and right now he has like, I'm pretty sure he still has a 44 flat old route time, which is like super hard to get. I mean, that's like what my PB is, and I know what that grind is like, getting that 43. So I mean, in our race, I mean, he showed up to play. He got a PB in our race, and I mean, he completely deserved to win that one. With that being said, though, he better show up to play next time, because I remember what happened, and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope it's as close as the last race, but in my favor this time.
Yeah, well, definitely GG on your race today. I'm definitely looking forward to that rematch with you and MGA. And of course, at the very end of it all is Ruya, who is definitely even more on fire, I think. So it's definitely going to be a good race to the finish here for our tournament.
Well, to me, Ruya is kind of just like the post-game super boss, right? He's not. I mean, no one thinks you're gonna win against him. So it's like, if I beat MGA, I'm gonna tell people I won the tournament, right? No, but yeah, either way, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. If I had a vote right now for match of the tournament so far, 100% no questions asked, it would be your first one with MGA. So we are absolutely thrilled for the chance of that rematch, and the stakes couldn't be higher with a chance in that grand finals. And so we're really excited about that one. We wish you the best of luck going forward with your prep with that, with your SM rat races, any of your any percent grinding, and all else. So good luck with that stuff. Good luck moving forward, and can't wait to see you in the next race.
Thank you. And I just want to say big GG to Firebat. I mentioned this on the last race I did, but him and also Nintoaster were like the first guys I started racing this with like years ago now. So being able to play both of them in this tournament is really cool for me. I don't think we've ever been able to like race stuff in tournaments. I think Nintoaster and I might have like had one in the past, but especially getting to do GT Classic with those guys, it's pretty special for me. So yeah, really grateful for that.
Alrighty, well, I guess as we bid farewell to the end of this match, the links have been posted in chat. Feel free to give both of our runners a follow for high-level Super Metroid content. Also, feel free to join us in the GT Classic Discord for up-to-the-minute planning for our races for the remainder, for our community races, to discuss strategies, memes, whatever the case may be. Feel free to give all of those things a follow and a join up. You will want to join us tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Nintoaster81 versus Toasty Toast, or as I like to call him, Brendan Fraser stand-in. That is a match you are definitely not going to want to miss. I'm going to turn it over to Professor School, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yeah, that's all I have.
Folks, I'll just reinforce that. Come and join us in the Discord. You heard it here from Sloaters, not only a class act, not only an incredible racer, but really showing why this community is so fun to be a part of. It's open, it's receptive. Look at the folks in the chat. We've got a great community here. Come in and join us if you're not already a part of it. Big congratulations to Firebat on an incredible performance throughout the entire tournament, making it this deep in. It's more than most of us can say. And a big thank you to Firebat as he bows out of the tournament for all of the work done organizing this and really making this possible. We're very thankful to that. We're thankful to chat for everything that you've done today. Thank you for Sloaters for joining us here on comms. And finally to Nintoaster, our restreamer, and Sports Sando, my co-commentator. We have had a fantastic race today. We are looking forward to the next one, and we will be back at you with some GT Classic action. Sloaters27 versus MGA. Check your calendars. It's coming up real soon, folks. Thank you for joining us for the action today. We will see you soon. We will see you next mission.